Hi friends, today our topic for the chapter is Programming in C++. It's by me, Shashwat Chaturvedi. First, let me tell you something about me. Mm, my name is Shashwat Chaturvedi and I've done my BTech in Information and Technology from University College of Engineering, Rajasthan Technical University, Kota. My places of interest is playing basketball, watching movies, particularly Hollywood movies, playing games on computers, as well as on PlayStation. I've played nationals 2 times, one in Nagpur and one in Jaipur. So moving on and focusing on today's chapter, that is programming in C++, let me just give you a gist about what we are going to study today. The first thing is the first program, that is what is the basic program for programming in C++. And then character sets, in which we are going to study about tokens, data types, variable declarations, reference variables. Then control statements, that is the for loop, the while loop, and the do while loop. Then the jump statements, the break statements, and the continue statements, and the go to statements. And moreover, we are going to study something extra as well apart from the one quoted in index, that is the control statements branching side, the if else, if statement, and else statement. Now let's move on and see what is the basic program for, or what is the basic skill set we need to program in C++. For programming high level things, we should know the basics. That is, the syntax is given here. You should screenshot this and see what this is. It's hash include iostream.h, then main void, and starting it the count hello welcome, and closing the inverted commas, giving a break, and then return 0 and closing the. So all of these are the basic things required. We should know, or the basic knowledge for the programming in C++, where hash include iostream is the first thing, that is iostream is input output stream dot h. Then main void, so that we can include things from our side in the body content of the whole program, and then return, and then close it. So this was the first program. You should screenshot it for future references and know how to program. Now moving on, we'll now discuss what character sets are. See, as you can see here, the character sets quoted here in the bookish definition is character sets are the various available characters that can be used in language to define an entity that can hold values during program execution. So what we can say is that as we do it in maths and other subjects related to science, we know that we can give, if we want to assume a value, we use the variable x the most, so that holds a value, so that is a character. So that very same thing, or that is the thing we use here also, that is the character set. That is the introduction to character set. We can use any of it, be it capital, uppercase letters, lowercase letters, and any number 0 to 9, anything, and various other symbols like percentage sign, hash sign, star, asterisk, anything we can use for giving it a temporary variable value. The types of character sets are tokens, keywords, literals, identifiers, variables, constants, and escape sequences. Tokens they are the smallest unit of a program. So you can make out very well that when languages are defined, they contain enormous amount of elements, the huge, humongous amount of elements they contain, and they need to be identified by the compiler of that language. So for knowing them thoroughly, we need to know about the tokens because they are the smallest units. Hence, the tokens or the character sets are further classified into keywords. What keywords are? The standard words that mean something in a compiler, or we can say that as we know, there are abbreviations for each and everything. Like for automatic we use auto, so we can see auto is a type of keyword, or I must say for that is we use IE. So that is IE is the abbreviation or the keyword for that is. Moving on to literals. What literals are? When a constant is associated with a symbolic name for the purpose of readability, so that we can read something, we can read the symbols or they are attached to it, then we use literals. For example, strings, preprocessors, directives, constants, enumerated data constants, many other things, they can be quoted as literals. What are identifiers? Identifiers are, if we want to identify a thing, for example, if we want to identify which breed dog we are facing, then we need to have knowledge about it. What breeds are there in the market or what breeds we come across. So identifiers is the same thing in the programming world. They help us to know what variable is used and what is the value of the variable and how do we use it and what is the exact usage of the variable or constant or any keyword. So for that we use identifiers. Moving on, variables. As I told you before, like in maths we use x, y, z, a. So these are variables. These can be quoted as variables. Constants, they are the same thing, that it has a fixed value. So what values are identified by the identifiers, it is known as the constants. Moving ahead, we should know about escape sequences. What escape sequences are? Escape sequences are those special characters which are used for predefining that where these variables can be used inside the program for what purpose. So that is identified by the escape sequence. What variable is used for what purpose, so and with or what special character is used for any special purpose. So that can be identified using the escape sequences. This was all about the tokens in character sets. Now moving ahead, we should know what data types are. Data types are formally or are mainly of four types: primary data types, derived data types, user defined data types, and data type qualifiers. So what primary data types are? Character type, integer type, or floating point type. These are the primary data types. What primary data types means that it is system defined, which are given by the system or predefined by the system, that on these norms you are going to work, or the programmer has to work on these norms only. So that is defined in the predefined or primary data types. Moving on, we come across the derived data types. It is both user defined and system defined. So that is to be key what integer and what variable should be taken for derived data types, what unit length or width of any specific program should be given, or what is the content, and how the errors are to be rectified. All of this is described in or discussed in derived data types. User defined data types. User defined data types are the data types given by the user. Then moving ahead, we come to know about data type qualifiers. What data type qualifiers are? Data type qualifiers are the foremost thing for any user defined data types, that it is a test kind of thing that is given by the system, so that those data types are correct to be used, or are appropriate for using them in the program. So that is done in the data type qualifiers. Moving ahead, variable declaration. What variable declaration is? Variables are to be declared, and the system should know what variable declaration is. The syntax is given here, and you should screenshot this or slide it in the video, so that you can see what this what syntax should be used for declaring any variable, or what variable value is defined and what variable should be used is given in the variable declaration section. Now moving ahead and going into control statements. Screenshot this, because this syntax is the most important thing for giving any branching instruction. This is for, as you can read here, branching means defining the block of code or set of instruction that has to be executed one time in a specific condition is met. If a specific condition is met, for example, I'll do that work if, so that is the if statement. What if else is? I'll do that work if this happens, or else I won't do that. So that is a if else statement. There are more branching statements like nested if and the if else if statement. They can be discussed later. What control statement looping is? The loops. When any condition is repeatedly coming up, then we use the loop thing. Screenshot this. It's for loop, the while loop, and the do while loop. The for loop thing is, you should do that thing, or sometimes a programmer needs to execute a set of instructions repeatedly, such that repetitive execution of the statements is called as looping. So we use all of these loops for such thing. Now jump statements. What jump statements are? We can skip some portion and directly come to another point in the programming. So for that we have different kind of jump statements. That is the break statement, the continue statement, and the go to statement. So the break statement is when you do not want to continue with the current statement's execution. The continue statement is it skips the rest of the portion and takes you to the point where you want to be exactly at. And the go to statement, it allows you to another point in the program. So this is all for this chapter. Thank you, and please don't forget to recommend, review, and subscribe my channel. Thank you.